Okay, now we'll do the demonstration of what a rack back lead is. One thing is that we only need a few tools to make a rack back lead and build it correctly. First, we have our one that's mixed properly, a trowel, mason's brush, an S-joiner, a 2-foot level, and of course our brick spacing wheel. One thing that I'm going to add for our advanced course is that a wick rope will be placed in between the center joint, and that's going to be used for our weep hole. So it's like 2 classes in one, but I'll show how you install a weep hole. So when one is mixed properly, our center line of this long wall, which you see here, is going to be built for the rack back lead. The face of our block is going to be the same as a wall line that would be on the ground. Nothing changes. Our face of our block will be the same as a face of a wall line if there was a chalk line on the ground. So we're going to proceed with the process. You may ask yourself that there's black paper here, and the black paper is for the advanced courses that we put that on and it acts as flashing for us, especially for the first course, and that will help to interact with what a weep hole is supposed to do. So this process is for act as flashing. Also, it's much easier to lay on this than it would be on the uncored block that's underneath it where all the mud would fall in. So we have a perfectly spread veggie. We're going to furrow our little bed joint. And here we go. The first step is to make sure you start exactly on the center. No head joint, but place the brick just past that head joint so that when you apply a head joint, it's in the center. And then we can start. Each one is applied the same way. All 4 brick are then laid for the first course. We will then make sure they're all perfectly level. Once they're level, we go through those same steps as we were taught before. Here, it's a little easier because I'm going to plumb up the face of the block wall by those plumb points that I showed you on the description. And make sure each and every one of these bricks are held perfectly plumb. And once they're plumb, then we do our last step, which is straight edge. Making the adjustments where we need to. Once the first course is set, again, we will start with our second course. Course is then spread. For our bed joint, and here's where it's very important. There's a 3-core brick, and a lot of the brick have odd number holes. Make sure you line up that core directly over the center of the joint beneath it. Simplest way to do this, if you hold the brick with your thumb in the center, then place your thumb directly over that joint beneath it. You can't go wrong. Once that's set, we will then start the steps over again. And again, it's a repeated process for each and every course. We place our head joint on. And start again. Level on all three bricks. And again, remember, in this diagram, the plumb points change. Holding the level tight and just moving the brick till it becomes perfectly flush and parallel to the level and making sure that it's plumb. And then, of course, straight edge. I'm going to check for height. And you can do this every couple courses, and again, our course height should be the course height of 5. Remember, a uniform joint is making sure that each and every joint looks alike and at a particular height to get at a certain height. And it's always nice to maintain that height of 8 inches. Okay, guys, now, go on through it again. And again, thumb on the center, 3/4 brick, thumb is on the center, and I'm going to place it directly over that joint. And then, of course, level. Now remember, plumbing from the first course is the same plumb point on the third course. And then straight edge. And then, of course, last, we will top off. So our final brick. Thumb is on the center. Level. Plumb. And then our last step, of course, once it's completed, we will then strike up all our work. Cutting off all the excess mud. Giving it a slight little brush down. Restriking, which is mitering the joints, making sure that they're really filled in and secure. And we should know at this point, by striking the joint, that's filling in any voids but it's also sealing it to make it a nice tight bond. And right there is what a rack actually should look like. Center of every brick should be right over the center of that long wall. When the leads are built on each existing end of the wall, this is left for when the wall connects, it connects into this, so that's why the lead has to be built correctly. That's what they call racking back. So the same with here. As you notice, you can see that there's 1.5 cores on every brick that's being heated, so that means it's at least halfway. So when the brick lays over the top of it, it's a half bond, and that's, of course, the bond we want to attract. So again, in review, a rack back lead is by far the simplest of all leads to be built by a mason. It's usually constructed with brick on a long wall so that it would help direct the height and levelness of the wall to be true level and true point. And that is a rack back lead.